Hello people who cannot sit at home, thank you so much for being here. As you can see, we are moving, so please excuse the lack of setup and the echoey sound. It's just how it is right now. But I really wanted to do this video. I am actually very passionate about this topic, and the topic is getting ripped off at the mechanic. Yes. So the story goes like this. About a month ago, I went to my mechanic, who, by the way, I really do. They do not charge through the roof. But I went there for oil change. While I was waiting, they called me. They told me that there is a filter, 2 filters that you need to change. They're disgusting. And I was like, yes, of course, let's change them, yes. Only to find out each of the filters was 80 bucks Canadian, or in Canada. So basically 160 bucks later, plus 100 bucks for the oil change. So close to 300 bucks I left the mechanic, only to find out from my boyfriend actually that I can change the filters myself, and they're much cheaper on Amazon. So I'm definitely gonna take you through that. I'm gonna show you how to change your filters so that you know, so that you don't get ripped off, because that was ridiculous. And then there's gonna be 2 more really cool ways of saving and knowing more about your car and how to just do stuff. Very cool in my opinion. I think once you watch this video, you're gonna at least learn more, hopefully learn more about your car and how to do things to your car without paying insane amount to the mechanics and paint shops. Let's go. Okay, let's change those car filters. So first off, your car needs to be off. You cannot be doing this while the car was just recently run. Make sure for like at least an hour it has cooled down, maybe even longer. So over here, I'm just kind of looking at where my motor is and where's what. Essentially, you have the motor underneath there, then you have that tube, and then the tube goes to the filter. So you see those 2 clips? That's a good signifier of the filter area. Your car is going to be different than my car. My car, by the way, is Subaru Crosstrek, so maybe Subarus are going to be somewhat similar. And over here, we are going to unclip those metal clips, and right away you can see that you can kind of pull it up.
Or is it just that slide up?
I think it just slide up. And that's it, that's the filter.
Yes, but you do not want to damage anything putting in. Like, filter has to be intact.
Oh, okay.
Struggling.
Yeah.
You see?
But I can take it out. So one can hold. There we go. One can hold. And the other one. Nice. So this is how my filter. It looks different on different cars, obviously. But just put it in the same way that it came in. My boyfriend, by the way, is helping me. Neither of us are mechanics. Please excuse if I'm saying something incorrectly. I am not a mechanic. I'm just kind of trying to hopefully help out people that are not mechanics just like me. We're actually gonna dust it off a little bit and put it back in. And I'm gonna in a second show you how to find it on Amazon, which turned out to be fairly easy. We're just gonna nicely put it back in the same exact way that you placed it, that you took it out. Make sure everything locks in fairly easily. If something is not closing really easily, something is not right, probably. So now that it's nice and secure, that is how you change the engine air filter. Now let's go on to the cabin air filter. So it is on the left side of the car where the passenger seat is.
Squeeze both sides to release the little knobs here.
Yeah.
And then you have a little pump here that stops you from going any further. All you gotta do is pop it up. And then it slides down.
Okay, so they make it extra difficult, but that's where the filter is.
To release, you grab these little things here. Yeah, squeeze them together.
Pull
it out. Once again, if there's pressure, there's something wrong.
And there's our filter.
Yes.
Okay, let's shake it too. Ooh, that's a big one.
Have you been bushwhacking? Okay, to put it in.
Okay. Do we know which way is up, or we can't tell that?
There's an arrow.
Nice.
This way up.
Love it. Beautiful.
Gently, never apply any pressure. They're already screwed up by squeezing it a little bit too much here. Push it in, let it lock. And these little thingies, and it shows you up. Clips on, nice and easy. And unclose it.
So when you put, first that thing.
Wait, make sure that everything is aligned.
First that thing.
Yeah, first this thing. Actually, you don't have to squeeze it, it just goes in.
Oh, you don't? Oh, nice. Oh, that's easy. Beauty. It seems like there are numerous ways of figuring out what kind of car filter goes into your car. I think your owner's manual should have that information. There are a number of websites that also specialize in, you putting your car name and model. I literally went straight to Amazon. I typed in Subaru Crosstrek engine air filter for 2022, which is the year of my car. And over here it's $13. I cannot believe it's $13, guys, and I paid 80 bucks for this. I'm still mad. So anyway, making sure that that's the one. It visually does look like the one that I have. By the way, all of the items that I'm going to be using, I'm going to link down below, including the filters even for my car, because that will just give you an idea of, what is it that we're looking for. And over here is the cabin filter. Same idea. You put in cabin air filter and the year of your car and make sure that is in the description. This one is again 25 bucks. Definitely beats the 80 bucks. So the next one I want to show you is how to fix a flat tire. So actually I didn't get a flat tire, I did get a nail in it. So first the handbrake needs to be activated so that nothing moves. We are, by the way, in the garage of my condo, so the lighting not the greatest, please excuse the lighting. And over here I have a spare tire. My boyfriend is the one that knows how to do this. I'm not going to be claiming that I know how to do this. I'm just going to take you through what he's doing. So again, that you get to learn. I'm sure there's even more videos about this that are more professional and in-depth. But just for, people who are curious, this is a short version. So first you need to get the car up. We're using the jack that came with the car. You can of course purchase it online if you want to, but first check if your car has it. So there's a compressor that's probably the most expensive, and usually these things, all of these items, they come in a kit. I'm gonna of course link all of this down below. So yes, first jacking it up. We are not actually taking off the wheel, which is what's interesting about this. Typically you would take off the wheel. This was in the beginning of the day, of a weekend day, and as you know me by now, I want to go on a road trip. I do not have time. I actually do have CAA, and even with CAA I did not want to call them up because that was going to take a bit of time. And a lot of time they actually just put on the spare and they send you to like the nearest mechanic. Again, waste of a whole day. So really this trick is more about how to not waste your time. Ooh. So here's that nail, popping it right out. It actually is a screw. This is going to be very unprofessional explanation of what he's doing. This is, I think, some kind of a rubber element. So this needle, there's again proper way of naming this, and we're putting the rubber on it. We're kind of twisting it and getting it onto the needle. We are prepping the compressor. This essentially kind of shoots out the air, and that can actually hook up to the car. Why do we need a compressor?
Because everything has to be done right away.
Oh,
so everything has to be ready.
This is of course probably the most expensive thing that you will need to have if you want to do this kind of thing, and this is definitely worth our money because between the two of our cars we've been doing this trick at least maybe 3 times a year. So hooking everything up, the pressure is 20, usually it's about 30 that it should be. Cleaning the hole, you gotta clean the hole. And this is rubber cement, covering it everywhere. And by the way, if you do enjoy road trip content such as this, please make sure to subscribe. Trying to get 10,000 subscribers, hopefully soonish, so please help me out with that. I also have a number of books. These are, in my opinion, really great guides to Ontario road tripping. They're all quite different, and the Amazon link to read more about them and to purchase them is going to be down below. Pushing it really hard in and really hard out.
Twist as you're going in. You just pull up.
And essentially the chemical reaction between rubber cement and the rubber of the tire kind of creates a really lovely seal, and essentially you can use your car pretty much maybe 15 minutes after. Pumping up the air pressure of the tire, basically getting more air into the tire, trying to get it to 30, and over here is what we got it to 30, which is really nice and beautiful. I personally never done this because you do need a certain amount of power to kind of push that needle through. I don't think it's hard, and I'm definitely gonna try it probably the next time we're doing this, just out of my own curiosity. But that is the only element that's a bit challenging, but definitely very doable. So the third and the last thing is fixing rust on a car. I have posted this actually on TikTok. It went crazy viral. I'm gonna find that video posted down below. So yeah, you can fix rust on your car, and that includes little dents. So before and after over here, I had, this is my old car by the way, so both of the fenders were rusted and I wanted to fix it. First, what you need to do is you need to find the paint of your car. So usually it's in the door, typically it's at the door. There's a code, so you need the paint code, or again, user manual should have your code. And over here I went to Canadian Tire Auto Shop. They were amazing. They helped me with so much. I got a lot of different sanding paper. I got this sanding thing for, you put it onto the drill and it again helps you sand off the rust. Then Bondo, very important. This is the body filler. This will be used to fill on top of the rust converter. And then the color. I was very lucky to find actually really perfect match for my car, and that was just at the Canadian Tire. So what I did is I took, and that's what the guy suggested. He suggested I take the cap of the paint, spray paint, and I go to my car and match it that way. And it worked out. That was the paint. But again, you can even go to like your, like for example, I have a Subaru right now. You can go to Subaru dealership and I think they can give you a bit of paint, a bit of spray paint, I think. Maybe you have to pay. And by the way, this was about 5 years ago. This was fairly long time ago. The body shop estimate was from $500. Most likely it would have been more. Right now, it for sure will be more. Where material cost, again, this was again 5 years ago, but it was $102. It would be more now, but not astronomically. And when I say you can fix rust and dents, if you have a smaller dent, you can also do the same procedure. It's really very similar. Now over here is my sample of the beer can that I put the Bondo filler on top. And over here I have the sanding papers that I was trying out to see how the sanding works. This gave me a good idea of how to file the filler. And over here, this gave me, of course, the good idea of how to build up the layers. So I used the rust primer, then the color, and then the clear coat. And over here I came over to my car and I used the beer can to just make sure the color matches. And overall this was just excellent at giving me the idea of how to do this without just going for it and doing it right on the car. So first the sanding off a little bit with the 40 grit sandpaper, and it was fine. It definitely worked, except that it would take really long time and I didn't really want to spend so much time. So my dad helped me out to try to sand it off. It took a little bit to get used to it, but it's actually not hard. The only thing is just holding the hand steady. So over here we removed most of the rust. So now onto the Bondo filler. So the thing with this is when you take the filler, there are two parts, the actual filler kind of part, and then this is the hardener. So YouTube suggests to soften the hardeners, press on it a couple of times so that it starts to heat up and activate. Now I didn't actually videotape the how I was mixing, so here's my very simple diagram. So for a patty size, imagine like a hamburger patty, you need a little bit less than the radius of the hardener, the brown hardener. Over here is an example of a photo that I found on the internet of the color, and this is the color that it should be. Once you have that, apply it using the credit card. I just applied it using the credit card, and let it dry for at least 30 minutes. Now this is what was the funnest part for me, is shaping it with 40, 80, 180 and then 800 grit sandpaper. So of course starting with the coarsest, which is 40. Now this I believe is the 80, and then slowly kind of building it up to the 800. So this is the wet sanding with 800. The thing is, the sandpapers, turns out they are either with water or without the water. So the black sanding papers are with the ones for the water. At least that's how I was explained. So if you use, first of all, wet the whole area, and then while it's moist, start sanding it, and you will see it almost, I don't know, it's the most amazing way of how it shapes. It's very nice. Just a quick note, when my video went really viral on TikTok, a lot of people told me that I'm not supposed to use the wet sanding because it doesn't really react well with the rust proof. I decided to keep that part in because I've seen that done in other videos when I was doing my research. And not only that, I found that wet sanding is what made everything very smooth and very nice. So pretty critical to the final effect, and it looked really, really nice. Another thing that a lot of people ask me about, the rust coming back. Yes, rust does come back. It took this car 2 years for it to come back. It looked really great, but after 2 years it does come back. I knew it would come back because I never really fully sanded the rust off. There was still rust. It was an old car, so there's that expectation. If you sand off the rust fully, I don't see a reason why it would come back. Now we're on to the primer / rust converter. This took a while to dry up. It took maybe half an hour. So you gotta be pretty patient when applying these things. Now here's the color time. Shaking it really well. I tested it on a bag over there just to see how the color is. Here's the first layer. You can definitely see through it, which is totally fine. Do not overdo it. Build it up with layers and give at least 15 minutes in between each coat so that it all dries. Otherwise it will run and it will look really drippy. You need to make sure that it doesn't happen. I also like standing away from the car so that it almost just mists on top versus putting too much spray color right on top of it. This is over here the last layer of the color, and over here I'm doing the clear coat. So here's the before and over here is the after. Looks amazing. Much better than I ever expected it to. You cannot tell that there were any issues. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below more things like that, more things that you can do yourself in the car. Who knows, maybe I'll do another video, but mainly I want to know. I personally want to know because everything is so expensive. Thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.